What's going on, guys? Let me preface this discussion that we're about to have by saying I have no philosophical training. I'm just a guy that picked up Nietzsche a while back, started reading some Stoics, started beginning to find some interest. My interests were peak in politics, philosophy, and how they could be connected and integrated. And what stuck with me or struck me in reading Nietzsche is this Ubermensch, that overman, superman, that is this life-affirming, self-overcoming person that says yes to life, right? No matter the circumstances, whether good or bad, this Ubermensch says yes to life. How can I achieve more, become more, be more upright, be more noble? In essence, to kind of color outside of the lines. Not necessarily just negating all rules. He still follows the boundaries and conditions of life, but more so the rules follow this guy because he's kind of that life-affirming powerhouse, and that attracted to me. I think we live in somewhat kind of a nihilistic viewpoint these days, where it's easy to take on that idea of what does it even matter? And I've always kind of been this competitive-natured person that says, well, what can I do to achieve something more, to become more? I want that competitive edge, and so I'm very interested in that piques my interest in Nietzsche's philosophy of this Ubermensch, of becoming this life-affirming person in the midst of a nihilistic and pessimistic culture, rightfully so. And so I was very intrigued by Thus Spoke Zarathustra, where he's talking about this Ubermensch, but not only that, the last man. And if you're not familiar with that, the last man representing kind of this soft, mass psychosis, faceless proletariat, herd mentality, where it's just feed me my next dopamine fix, tell me what to do, tell me where to go, give me the next thing that's going to distract me from actually living life. Where's my handout? Tell me what to do, tell me where to go. And as I'm reading the Ubermensch and the last man, life-affirming or life-denying, in essence, I can't help but see the correlation in today's modern society, modern culture. We're seeing a lack of men, a lack of women having that Ubermensch mentality where it's life-affirming. Like, what can I do today to have that vitality, that virile, strong, energetic characteristic to say, this is my day, despite all the things that are going on in the environment and the different circumstances. What can I do to take control of life? And I like that responsibility, taking responsibility for one's own life. But we see the majority of people kind of in that last man state, where it's just this poor, pitiful, oppressed generation of nobody's trying to get ahead. It's just, let us all be equal. Let us all be on this level plane, and you provide for us what we need. And we see that in culture today, this victim mindset. Just let us all be equal. Tell us what to do. Let's tear down the walls of anybody trying to stand on and get ahead. Let's bring everybody down. And so I recently started reading Julius Evola, and he's got like this fascist mentality, but on a basis not so much in some socialistic tyrannical power. What he's saying is that what socialism tries to bring to the table is this collective mentality, kind of like that last man, where they strip away the individual of someone trying to get ahead, because someone trying to get ahead is selfish, and it's just this capitalist greed, corruption. And so let's all be equal. Let's have a collective mentality where someone else can tell us what to do, right? Someone else provides for us, they guide us, we're all equal. But he says the difference between that individualism that can breed corruption and that can breed greed, that should be switched out for personality, right? Individualism can be bad in a sense that it promotes that greed and the power, but what about the personality, right? And what socialism does And that last man mentality is it strips away personality. And we all just become this socialist, collective, faceless group where it's a very mundane and monotonous spirit or lack of spirit. And so the idea is personality. We should all have personalities. We should all have personalities that are unique and creative and rising in a rank of a hierarchical system, because that's what personalities do. They're competitive against other personalities, and so he's not against a hierarchical system that promotes growth, that promotes almost a capitalist idea. He's against the individualism that could lead to corrupt and power and greed and lack of spirit for your community, country, your tribe, your people. And it has me thinking that on a personality level, imagine leaders. Everybody needs leaders. I don't care if you're socialist, capitalist, democracy, whatever you are. There has to be leaders, and we think of them as having a personality. And so think of leaders, of present, of past. They had a personality. It takes a different personality to be a leader. They kind of have that strong, virile, energetic force about them that says yes to life. They don't take no for an answer. It's what can I do to assert my position because I'm a leader. But good leaders are for the people. So they have that leading personality, that Ubermensch personality that says yes to life, but it's not solely for the individual gain, it's for collective gain. And so this has me thinking that, can we grab a hold of some greater ideal that goes beyond ideology, or that goes beyond socialism or capitalism, that goes beyond all these ideologies, and just says, can we begin to promote a healthy idea where, yes, we promote personalities. Be who you want to be competent in your personality, whether you're a leader, a teacher, an aristocrat, a politician, just a great agrarian farmhand, whatever it is. Own that personality so that it doesn't strip away that power to rise and be competent in who you are. And it also doesn't tear away your personality so that you remove the complete individual that you are and you just become this face of collective glob. No, own your personality so that it rises you in the ranks of competency and you can use capitalism for your advantage. But never let that individual rise above the collectiveness that it is for your family, tribe, community, nation, if you will. And I know that that's a large responsibility to shoulder, but I think we can get there. And I think ideas of Nietzsche's Ubermensch, that overman that says, I'm overcoming self for the betterment of me, but not only me, but I'm becoming better, so hopefully that spills over into people around me. I'm not going to just pick them up and throw them over my shoulder and carry them like it's some socialistic let's all rise together or be lowered together. But if my attitude and my yes to life virile spirit overflows in other people's lives, so be it, because that's my personality. And it's more of a personality to be great than it is an individual characteristic to be corrupt, to be greedy. It's just who I am. And I think we can begin to promote that as a nation, as can we all achieve our personalities to be great and have an aim at becoming better, rising the ranks in a hierarchical system that's not corrupt, it's just let's be the best that we can be. But with an overarching spirit that it's not so much about the individual, it's about my personality that I own, that is me and isn't stripped away so that I'm some faceless glob, but that personality's in connection with the collective, whether it be your family, your community, and on a larger scale, nation. For example, we used to say a Pledge of Allegiance in America. I don't know if we do that anymore. It's we see these people, and I think it's kind of a socialist leveling playing field agenda where we say, nah, pledge allegiance to that? No, I'm an individual. I'm this selfish, all about me type of person. And so we lose an allegiance to something in the name of being an individual, but we also forgo that collective strength. And I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud of this nation. It is flawed, and there's flaws because we are humans, we're individuals, and thus flaws are going to happen. But can we have a spirit, a collective spirit that says, yes, let's not be selfish and greedy and corrupt. Let's have personalities that say, this is who I am, this is what I want to be, but I'm still connected to the larger scope of things that says, this is my community, these are my people, this is my nation. And somewhere along the lines, America definitely has lost that spirit of pride. The spirit of pride to be from America. Americans now are even, it's as if they're disgusted to be here. And so we've lost that spirit in the name of being individuals. We've become this selfish, prideful group. And so we want to strip away the power for anyone to rise above. We want this level playing ground, this last man mentality where it's just about, it's too hard to rise the ranks. And so we're just going to start calling that evil and bad. And so let's just all be down here. Let's call capitalism evil. Let's call those personalities that are more apt to rise the ranks. Let's call them evil. Let's call them oppressive. And let's just all be down here in our misery and our little quick dopamine social media fix and our media trends and what have you. And so the idea that I truly love about Nietzsche is that Ubermensch, that life affirming man that has no need for the last man and their despicable acts of mediocrity. He wants more than that. And what I love about Julius Evola is that he's stating this: can there be a greater spirit that goes beyond ideologies, where, yeah, individuals, if it's solely promoted, let's be an individual capitalistic greedy corruption nation, yeah, that's going to fall. That's going to fall. But he says the answer is not some collective social equal playing ground. The answer is for us to, set aside the individual selfishness and greed, but grab a hold of your personality. Who do you want to be? Who can you be? And rise the ranks of that hierarchical system and gain economically. But let it be resonating in the back of the head that this is for the collective. And by collective, I truly mean not so much the larger scale nation, but let it be your community. Let it be your friends, let it be your family, your tribe, whatever terminology works for us. Let it overspill into that. And then let different communities take notice and say, hey, we admire what you're doing. We admire that strong personality that resonates within you. Yet it's not so much individualistic because it's not about greed or corruption or about self. It's about your personality rising in whatever you're competent in and letting it overspill into your community, family, tribe. And by other communities seeing that, can that catch on? Can it catch like fire and be this domino effect where we do have different communities based on religion, gender preference nowadays, non-binary, whatever, and whether it goes beyond race, beyond color, beyond age, and we just see a spirit in this nation that says, yes, we can be more, and we can rise the ranks, and there can be a productive hierarchical system where personalities and different values, directions can be met, but with this collective mindset that it is for something bigger than me. And I think that's what this country was founded on. You can call it democracy or what have you, but it was about let's rise the ranks, let's be the best we can, but for nation overall, for our people overall. And we've grown in population since then, and it's simple math. The more people there are, the harder it is to represent the majority in one way or another. And I think we see that there is kind of this unsettling unrest right now, and rightfully so. There's different people, different parties, different ideas, different directions going on. But I think somehow, if we can begin to at least experiment with, can we create a country, a spirit where we grab a hold of that Ubermensch that says yes to life. We're not waiting for excuses. We're not like those last men just saying, give me my hand out and let's all be equal. We're saying there's more to that mundane, monotonous equality that the last man begs for. Right? We see this in culture today. Everybody's just saying everybody's oppressed, everybody this, that. There's more to that. There's this Ubermensch within us all, this overman, this superman, this badass, if you will, waiting to rise up. Not to just be in some collective faceless socialistic mass, but to grab a hold of that personality within all of us that says there is more and I can be what I desire to be. Whether it be a leader, whether it be artist, whether it be teacher, whether it be an entrepreneur, whatever it is, there's a personality within you that fits a career path that you could rise to hierarchical ranks of, but not out of selfishness, not out of greed, not out of absolute tyrannical power, but that you can live your best life. And hopefully that spirit and those characteristics can overspill and overflow into other people in your life, in your circle. And then that catches fire to other communities that see that. And we see a larger ideal that goes beyond ideology. And I think first and foremost, we have to grab a hold of that idea of, yes, it's okay for there to be different personalities. We don't want to kill the personalities with some socialistic, robotic maneuvers. We want personalities that live strong. We want personalities to create. We want personalities to innovate. We don't all want to be equal in the same utopia that's never going to exist. We want to be those Ubermensch that say yes to life, that affirm life, that affirm their personalities and go above and beyond just getting by. And I think the one thing that a socialist movement, that a collective movement fails to recognize is that nobody just wants to get by. We want to live our best lives. And yes, that may look different for other people. That may be $1 million for a set of group. That to one group may just be mean have all your bills paid. But nobody wants to be broke. Nobody wants to depend upon someone else. We all want that freedom and that sovereignty to be the best that we can be. And again, that's different landscapes and paints different canvases for each person's characteristics and personalities. But if we tear that personality away in the name of a collective landscape free of individuality, we're doing ourselves a huge injustice. And so I believe it's imperative that we become life-affirming personalities. That yes, let's do what we can do to be our best, but let's have that intention that it's going to overspill for the collective, for our group, for our family, for our tribe, for our community, and let that catch on to other communities so that in a larger scale, our nation that we should be proud to live in is affected by that spirit that goes beyond parties and ideologies and some collective nonsense.